gonna try this. Got Bella, and we didn't put bug spray on this morning, so we're gonna see how bad the bugs get. But come on, come on, come on. I'm gonna get her over to me. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Very good. I'm gonna show you what we're doing. We're just doing recall stuff. Now, I'm gonna start out with it as a good habit with her. Come here, come here, come here. I'm gonna get in this habit of going up and over her and coming back off with it. And I don't want her pulling her head out. And she's really doing a nice job of actually burying her head into me. So I don't like these dogs that pull their heads out. I feel like when that happens, you're almost giving them a green light of freedom. And so I want her, this is just the second or third day we've put a lead on her. So she doesn't even realize what this thing means yet. But I'd like her to get in the habit of me pulling it up and over her ears. And not pulling away. And not taking off and running. So we're going to start doing that pretty early on. She's real good at it. She actually kind of leans into me with it. So we're going to continue to do that from now through forever. I still do it sometimes and have to remind my older dogs of it. Come here. So I'm going to put it onto her though. She is teething, so we're still not retrieving. I'm going to show you one thing that we're going to add in today. Come here. So I like to work on these. These are all little chances for recall. We bring her in, we get her nice and calm, and then I'm going to start in on a little bit of lead work. And she's just learning to figure out not to mess with this lead. And you can see a little bit of a tap, a little bit of a correction. So I'm going to find a level that I talk about. I always talk about 0 and 10. So 0 is off. That collar, this ring is touching the adjustment tab. That's no pressure. It's loose. I'm going to see if I can turn her so Ben can see that. There's no pressure there. So that's the way I want it to be. When I need to correct it, it might be this. That might be enough. That could have been a 10. Now it goes back to 0. So if I need to correct it, it's that. And it goes back to 0. It's either on or it's off. And if it's on, it better mean something. It better get a change. That's all it takes right there. Now, her body language has changed the second I put this lead on. You can see, and look at that nice little turn. This dog's really a smart little dog. I mean, literally, this is the second day she's had a lead on. Yesterday, she messed with the lead quite a bit. Wanted to bite on it, wanted to chew on it. She's starting to get used to or comfortable with the idea of that weight hanging around her neck. I think heel work for the first 6 to 8 months is probably my most important focus. Not retrieving, I like a little bit of intro to hunt stuff, but that's fun and it's easy, it's natural for them. Heel work is to me the key. So you can see, so I turned into her that time. Just all I'm doing is getting her used to, getting her to start understanding this process of, boy, I got to be on this thing. I got to be pretty close to him. Now she naturally sticks pretty tight. I'm going to show you that in a minute. We're going to take her off lead. But whenever she gets out of position or her nose goes down, I bump her. And when I turn and she's coming with me, that's a really nice sign. Usually, now this takes a little bit of cowboying with your lead. You got to get this so that it's in the right position. So if you got to reach down, you reach down and you swing it around. But I want this kind of on her right shoulder, that adjustment tab. That's out of the way of her face. When she nips at my knee like that, did you see what I just did? Just walked into her. So she nips at me, I bump her. She's gonna all I'm trying to do is get her to understand there's a position that she should be and a behavior that she should be doing in that position. And when she does, it's all good. When she doesn't, it gets a little uncomfortable. Sit, sit, there, good. Now, we're just building in that little sit command. We started that at feeding time. We still do it at feeding time. We just build it in. So every time we come to a stop, we're gonna get her to sit. We're getting a little bit of remote sit out of her. I like to swing around. I don't like to walk right back at them. I think that has a tendency to get them up and move their feet. When I say sit, I mean sit. So I don't like getting dogs to sit just for a second and then do their own thing. So I'm gonna swing this around. I love how she isn't getting mouthy at all. Bella, heel. Start out with her name, start out with my left leg. It's the closest one to her. It's just a habit that we're gonna get into. It's gonna make it easier for them, especially off lead. I turn, she turns. Nose goes down, it's gonna get corrected. That's why we're on the gravel road. It's a lot less tempting than the grass. Good. Nice little turn. So when she starts feeling my turn, both with me being next to her and with the lead as kind of a guide, we're syncing together. That's what we're looking for. I don't want an independent little puppy deciding they're gonna go where they wanna go. So when I turn away, I almost always turn away first. It's easier for them. They're behind, they're on the outside of the track, so they always are playing catch up. When they get to be a little bit older, we'll start to turn into them, and that becomes pretty uncomfortable, but she just nails it. Dogs don't like to walk backwards, and the way she just did it is how I would want them to do it after a while of doing this. Good. I love how she settles and sits. As we stop, she sits. That's what I want. I love how she's not messing with her lead. I love how she's not messing with the gravel. Bella, heel. I start out, I heel her off, and she'll start to get more comfortable with that cue. Great body language right now. Tail's still wagging, but the tail is not up. I don't want a tail that stands straight up, like a flag. That tells me a little bit of dominance. I don't want it tucked between her legs. I don't want her scared during this. I like that little happy little wag. Come on. And when her ears lay back just a little bit, it tells me, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Come on. Don't mess with that lead. Ultimately, the position we want her in is going to be about right here, back of her ear to my knee. Good. Now, this is something that we can do as many times a day as we want, as long as it's short. I don't go for long walks with her on lead. She's just not there yet. When we're on lead, I want it to be short and sweet. I want her to get the understanding of positioning. I want her to get that it's not a wrestling match. I want her to understand it's not a rodeo. I want her to understand that it's control. So I've got a bumper. I don't want her breaking. Now, I don't do a lot of this. That's probably a little ambitious distance. So I'm gonna do it quickly. Get a hold of it, get it back, get it out of my hands. I'll move back in. See how she spits that gravel out? Good. Heel. Heel. Come on. Little denial. That's it. I'm not going to do a lot of that because we're not retrieving right now, because she's teething. So she's about 17, going on 17 weeks. I gotta look at her. I gotta get her birthday. I got the papers and I haven't looked at them yet. But what I'm gonna do is I will, when we start healing like this, incorporate a little bit of steadiness, not a lot, because what I like to do is reward steadiness. Come on. She gets bored and starts to chew. We just move. We just change the scenario. It's almost like hitting a little reset button. Sit. And you can tell it's getting a little bit long, this lesson for her. But I like to, I don't mind steadying them up just a bit. Just not going to do it a lot because I don't want them to not get retrieves for so long. And she's got a couple more weeks yet. Come on. She's going to have a couple more weeks. And you can just see, we'll know when those canines go out, but these fronts are in. So, heel, heel. So that's what we're gonna do with her on lead, and it's gonna be short and sweet. Now we're gonna spray down with some bug spray, Ben and I. I'm gonna take you over to good girl, sit. Good. I'm going to take you over to our spot that's got mowed grass. We're going to take her in there, and I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that I'm doing recall-wise, because I think recall is another one that heel work is super important to me. I put a ton of emphasis on it. I think everything starts at heel. If you don't have 100% with the dog at heel, you don't stand a chance off lead or at a distance. So it all starts right here with lead, and then we'll work to off lead. But we're gonna go out there and I'm gonna show you some of the recall stuff, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna start. Her relative natural tendency right now is to still stick with me, but they're like teenagers, and they get to a point where dad's really cool, and then all of a sudden they get to be a little bit older, and I don't know if I want to hang out with dad on the weekends anymore. I've gone through it. I have a 17-year-old son. So we're still in that phase where she still likes to be with me. So I want to take advantage of that, but we're going to do that where there is a little more distraction. Set them up with spots to get them wins. Gravel road, concrete, sidewalk, blacktop, asphalt, that kind of stuff is less tempting than the grass, and their focus stays on me a little better. Spray bug spray on it and my focus will be a little bit better too. But so we're gonna go do that. We're gonna spray down, we're gonna go over there and bring her, and then we're gonna show you a quick thing that we're doing with her that way. So we just did some stuff on the driveway with heel work, and this is why I don't do that work on the grass. You're just gonna see how much easier it is for her to spin up. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna I am gonna firm up. I think sometimes people are afraid to firm. They don't think I ever firm up. I do. And but I firm up to the point of I get a change. So this is what I was talking about. It's real hard for her to focus when she can reach down, get a mouthful of grass, grab a twig. She likes to carry stuff around a lot. So that heel work here is a lot harder. Come on. It's just a lot more distracting. So over here, I'm not going to work on the heel. I am going to reel her back and sit. Come here. Sit. Good. So when I talk about getting firm with them, I think it's necessary. I don't think that means you have to be hard. I don't think it means you have to be a big tough guy and pick on these little puppies. But I think you have to get a change. I'm struggling right now with a guy that's watching us, and he's following us, and he's sending me messages, and he's really struggling with place training. And I watched his videos that he sent. His timing's bad. He misses stuff. I see it coming, and he's saying good, 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 and the dog's about to step off. And I can tell by watching the video, correct her right now. And he's going there, good, 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 and then, oh, no, 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 no. And then he puts it. So his timing's bad. That's hard. So I'm trying to help him figure that out. The other thing is when he does correct, it's the same correction every time. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no doesn't mean to that dog. And I apologize for swearing, but I get a little worked up about it. It doesn't mean a thing to a dog if you don't find the right level. And so with her, I don't know what the level is with your dog. I don't know what the level is with her. It varies day to day, but you have to find that level of firmness and make the correction and get a change. And so if I have to get firmed up and say, do it. There have been times where she was fussing around on her bed. Sit. Good. She's messing around on her bed and she's spinning up and she's just about to explode. And so I grabbed her by the scruff of the neck, I picked her up and I set her down and I said, that's enough. And you see what she instantly did there. Now, she's confused because she was like, I don't know what I was doing wrong. And that's not going to be, I'm not going to do that, make a habit of doing that. But did you see what she instantly did? She put her ears back and she started licking me. She is 100% telling me, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I found the level. I probably went beyond the level that needed to be. Come here. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Now, just she comes in and she wags her tail and I tell her how good she is. I think you have to be a little bit of a split personality when it comes to training. You got to be firm enough to get a change, but then you got to be in the next second good enough to be their best friend. Be nice to them. You're so good. You can't hold those feelings of frustration. You can't hold those feelings of, I can't correct her, I got to be positive, I have to be happy. I think you have to be whatever the moment calls for, and you have to make the decision very quickly. It's got to be right now, or you miss it. So with firmness, that's my spiel on that, but don't be afraid to firm up. Firm up and get a change, then soften. And so the idea is find the level, get the change, and then next time you don't have to go to that level. Hopefully you can go a little softer, a little softer, a little softer, until is enough to get a change. That's firm enough. But you can't start it and just continue to do it over and over and over again and not get a change. It won't help you. So we're gonna go right to that idea of taking the lead on and off. So we're gonna go off and on. And she does not have any idea that, like, I can just go take off running right now. Good. Before that ever forms a habit, we're gonna get her real used to on and off, and nothing changes. Good. Put it on, take it off. Good. Now I'll release her, and what we're going to do is we're just going to take her and I'm going to walk her, and I'm going to show you some of the free stuff we do. This is good for her exercise. This gives her a little bit of an exercise runoff. It also gives her something to think about while she's running around and exercising, because I'm going to continually recall her. We're going to help build in a little bit of a range for her to check in with. So we're going to be working on that. We're going to be a little bit of recall and follow to the whistle. So we're going to be doing that. But we're just going to go for a little walk to the area that we train in, and give her a little bit of freedom and balance it with a little bit of recall and the idea of connection to me. We'll build in the whistle. We'll do a bunch. So this is something that we can do. It's stimulating to her. It also builds a little boldness in her for exploring. She's going to see some new things, experience some new smells, understand that there's our distractions, but when we say we got to go, we're going to go. So she's distracted, she's distracted, she's distracted, and I'm just going to walk off, and Ben will follow with me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, good dog, good girl, good girl. You can see she spins up pretty quickly. Come here, come here. But I get her right back in. And I tell her how good she is. And then we go ahead and do it again. So Ben's gonna follow along with me. We're gonna go for a little walk. I'm gonna show you exactly what we do. And I let her explore to a point until it gets to a spot where it's either loss of control, like right now, she's really going. And that's okay. I don't feel like I have any loss of control. She's not far from me. She's a good distance. She's exploring. She's figuring out to play with some grass. We walk her through these decoys. She can come and take a look at these decoys. No big deal. Good. Good. We've got pigeons in our pen over there. So she just saw the pigeons on her way out. Come on, come on, come on. Good dog. Good dog. Every once in a while I get her to me and I reward her. Good girl. And you can just see when she gets to me, a little bit of a sense of calm comes over her. That's what I want. She can explore over there. You got to realize she tires out pretty quickly. So a walk like this for a couple minutes and back into the house before we go to bed, and she's out. Now we get out here and we got this great big open space. To her it's a little, maybe a little intimidating even. Come on, come on, come on, good dog, good dog. There's a nice little practice of recall. And now she can work herself back out. I'm just gauging her willingness or desire to get away or stay with me. And if she wants to stay super tight to me, that's okay. If she wants to get out too far, that's the one thing I probably would work on, recalling her back to me more often, so she gets in a little bit more of a habit of coming back to me. She's real happy to work right with me. I don't mind her getting out a little bit. I'll walk her through some thick stuff. So, great little chance for her to just explore. Good. dog, good dog, good dog, good. Practice with a little recall of the whistle. The whistle really didn't mean much to her, but I think it got her attention. And then I got down like this. And this is the exact same thing we've been doing when we feed her in the house. We used to give her a little bit of kibble, and then we'd go like this. Come on, come on, come on. And she'd come to it. So now I'm just gonna start adding in the idea of the whistle. Good dog. She's gotten in a nice little habit of coming in and sitting. So little short walks like this can prove to have some value. Good dog. And that one, that time, she got her nose into something, she was sniffing around, and if you noticed, I just eased away from her, just backed away. Got to 5 yards, and then recalled. And then when she came, I was sure to tell her how good she was. And if I want, I can mix this in a little bit. Add this on, add this off. Get her head up. Good. But we're gonna start, because we're gonna start putting a lead on her and working on heel, I'm gonna start getting her used to. Now she hangs up there. So here's a good chance for recall. Good dog. And when she gets there, be sure to reward her. Good dog. Because what I'm doing is I'm trying to get a habit of when you hear that little whistle, when you hear Bella here, Bella come, whatever you decide to use for an actual command, when she hears that or sees you doing this, because maybe she's at a distance and can't hear me when she's older, and I go like this, she knows that means come. So, and you've seen, if you watch Cody Go Back, that series that we're doing with Cody, you'll see some of that stuff. I'm real deliberate with my hand signals, because if she can't hear me, that's what she needs, is to be able to see it. So with her, I peep the whistle, she turns around and looks, she sees me like this, she goes, oh yeah, I remember this, I gotta come running. So, and you can start doing this, she's 16 or 17 weeks old, you can start doing this with them when they're 7, 8 weeks old, when you literally just bring them home. The difference will be they're not likely to do their own thing much. They're always going to be with you. They always want to be on your heels. They don't like to be left alone. And quite honestly, they can't see very good. And so you get so far from them, they can't see you, they panic a little bit, you're there to recall them, make some noise, they hear you, they come running to you, they get a big reward, and they go, oh, I really want to pay attention to that guy. I don't want to get lost. I don't want him to leave me. So as soon as, and you can just see, she has this tendency where she doesn't mind sticking with me. It's one of those things right now where we're at that honeymoon phase where she likes me. And so I'm going to take advantage of the time that she likes me. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Good girl, good girl. And it's just a lot of positive stuff. So we're building in little habits early on with her that they're gonna stick with her. I'm warning you, and I'm also giving it to you as encouragement at the idea of things you put in them now will be with them forever. So I just have to be aware of that and make sure we're putting the right things in. Put good things into them at this point. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Good girl, sit. Sit. Good dog. And that all simply started when we were feeding her. Come here, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. That stick is not better than me. Good dog. Sit. So there's a good one that, you know, lay down and chew on that twig, or go to the old guy that's calling me 3 feet away. What did I have to do? Get more excited, get down lower, and reel her in. So that's it. And I wouldn't go much longer than this. She's already starting to check out. She's teething, and that's part of why she has this tendency to want to chew. I don't give them things to chew on. I think it creates chewers. So I want to keep her moving. We got to feed her yet this morning, so we'll do that. We'll show you that because Ben's here filming and Cody's not here, so we got a little extra time today. So we're going to show you how she's improved with her feeding times. That has been kind of our groundwork to get everything started, and she's doing really well with it. She's making some progress. She eats without interruption now. She focuses and finishes her bowl. That's a huge accomplishment for us. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. And we've figured out how to get her to line for the food without her locking up. If you watch some of these early ones, she wouldn't even come off a sit. She's just too steady. So I've just totally loosened it up, and I don't ask her to be steady. I keep her moving, and then I swing her around and I line her. So eventually we'll get her to take that line a little bit more confident, and when she does that, then I'll come back and I'll start steadying her up. It's a balance thing. We go steady, we go loose. We go steady, we go loose. We go steady, we go loose until we get right in the sweet spot that we want. So I'm gonna keep moving with her. We're gonna bring her back to the house, and then we'll get her put up and we'll get her fed. Come on, come on, come on. Good dog, good dog, good dog.
Drive home, and I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if you don't.